welcome to another new Mold Monday. Today we have, well, yet another Temu delivery, so let's see what we've got and what we're going to make today. So we will start with, this is a lighthouse that uses like a tea light, battery operated tea light candle. This is sort of a stained glass-ish flower. And then we have a peony, kind of like a candle holder mold. I think what we're going to do is the lighthouse. So we will get this together and get started. Be right back. Alright, so we're going to get started on this lighthouse piece. We're going to do the base to start. And we've mixed up about 2 ounces of 2-part resin. We got some beach sand that we're going to add into it. We're going to add a drop of glue to help keep that from settling too much. Actually, we may not need the glue for the base. What we are going to do, though, is we're going to take some of these smaller shells and these littler starfish, and we're going to put them around the outer edge once we pour. We're not too concerned with the center, so we're definitely going to start with the center first. So let's go ahead and add in our sand and give it a stir. And we want to make sure that we get a lot of that sand in there. So we're going to add some more, stir it some more, making sure that we don't stir it outside the cup. And then once we pour this into the center, and then once we get that center piece filled, then we will add our the shells to the outside so that they're visible. So we're going to start by pouring it in the center until it reaches the top, like that. We're going to give it a little bit more till it starts to overflow so that we have some to work on. Give it a little bit more of a stir. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and set one there. And we want to make sure that the shells that we use are small enough that they fit down into that side. So we'll do this one in there. I think that actually flipped, so let's flip him over. We want the open part on the inside. And we'll put this guy over here. We'll give it a little, I think that's gonna, I'm not worried if it goes all the way down into there, but I do want it to go in enough like that. Oh, nope, he's backwards too. Let's turn him around like that. And this little guy over here. And this one, he's got some glue on it, so we're not going to use him. We got this little guy over here. And we'll put him over like that. That one like that. Hopefully this works better than the other attempt we did with shells. We'll put that one there. And this one over here. Let's grab another one of these little starfish. And that one will go right there. Let's move him over a little bit. Oops, I bumped the camera. That one there. Yeah, that'll work. Nice. Alright, so let's stir up our sand mix. And we're going to pour it again in the middle. Sorry for the noise. Almost dinner time. I think he needs to get pushed down a little bit because he's going to be beyond the bottom of the... I'm just going to give them a little poke to the bottom. Perfect, I think. Two ounces was just enough. All right, what we're going to do is we are going to put this in the pressure pot until we are ready to do the next piece. Let's just push that down a little bit. Push him down a little bit. And that's floating up a little bit, so let's get him down there. I think they're going to float because of the air inside the... Alright. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to give it time in the pressure pot until it cures. And then we will come back and continue with the rest of the project. So, I'm going to throw them in there. We'll be right back. Alright, so while we are waiting for our base to finish up, we took it out of the pressure pot because we need it for this step. And that is going to be 2 of the 4 sides. And so what we're going to do is we are going to use these alcohol inks. We have a pearl white, we have a red, and then we have a blue. So we're going to do red, white, and blue. And when we do this, we're going to do red at the top, white at the bottom, blue in the middle. So what we are going to do now is we are going to mix up about maybe about 1.5 ounces of each for each color. So we are going to do that, and then we'll be right back to do our pour. Be right back. All right, so we have mixed up, it's a little less than 2 ounces of 2-part resin with red alcohol ink with the white pearl and the blue. And we want to have it dark but not completely opaque. We want it a little bit transparent. So what we're going to do is we're going to give our mold a quick spray, and then we're going to start at the top on this one, the top side on this one, with some red. So let's go ahead and pour our red in. We're just going to do this very gently. We're going to attempt to keep it in the mold. All right, then we're going to take our blue. We're going to do the blue at the bottom. We may end up needing to make more resin here in a little bit, but we'll see. And you can see it's filling in nicely. All right, and then we'll take our white in the middle. And the reason we didn't do the white first or second is because we wanted to push out and then let's do, we need to do more red at the top to fill. And we'll do a little bit more blue at the bottom, and then we'll do a little bit more white at the in the middle to fill it out. All right, and then some more white. And you could see it pushing the red. All right, so now we're going to go to the other piece, and we're going to do the red. We only did about one drop of glue, but you can see how thick it became with just that one drop of glue. Wow, it is super thick, but that's good. And then we're going to come down to the bottom, and we're going to do our blue. You can see how fast that's pouring out, but that's okay. And then our white in the middle. I think we need a little bit more red at the top to get it to fill. Wow, it's like jelly. It is super thick. I'm trying to get just a little bit in there. Wow. Oh, right. That one piece is just a blob, and it's not coming off of my stick. There we go. I think we got it that time. And let me just use the stick to kind of move it up into the top part, because there's a little tiny bump that's going to connect to the base once the base is poured. So that one is good. So what we're going to do is it is going to go into our pressure pot. So we're going to carefully pick him up and get him in this slot. All right, and then what we're going to do is, well, I had, there they are. We have another tray and we have enough, so we're going to do red, white, and blue, but in this case we need to do blue first because it's going to be on the bottom of the lid. So there's blue. There's some blue. Oop. Then we're going to do our white. And you know what? I did it backwards. That's okay. It'll still be red, white, and blue. It'll just be backwards. My brain said rotate, but my reality was it didn't need to. I think this one's going to end up kind of swirling because we're pouring it on top. And then red on this side, and we're going to clean it off in a minute. Whoa, too much. Well, the good thing about it being so rubbery is it's not spreading quite as fast. Let's how are we going to do this? Let's see. Oh, look at the red just completely came out. All right, I think we're going to leave it, and we're just going to clean it up after the fact. I don't think we have another choice here because of how thick it got. Let me try to get some of this off and back in. There we go. We'll do a cleanup in a moment. Actually, before we put this into the pressure pot, let's go ahead and clean this guy off. Let me grab a wipe. There we go. All right, so we're going to put this back on, and then this is going to go above. Like that, so you can see. All right, so we're going to pop this into the pressure pot, and it's going to be in there for 24 hours-ish. And then we will take it out and demold all these pieces. We do still we do still need our other mold because we need to do that double. But we are going to, in the meantime, once we pop this out, we will do another piece. So I'm going to put this in the pressure pot, and we'll be back soon. See you then. All right, we're back to demold, and as you can see, we got a little bit of an overpour, but we can go ahead and fix that with our deburring tool. Here's our first of the two bases. We need to do two more after that, and then our base, which is the sand, which also had a little bit of a over. So let's go ahead and get him out, and then we're going to trim him up. But you can see he's got spaces for the tea light candle, and then he'll sit like that. So we'll clean him up. You see he's got the shells around the outside that you can see. A little bit of bubbles from the shells themselves, but that is okay. Let's see. A little bit of spots. I don't know what happened there, but you won't notice it once these are in. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's get these out. Again, we're going to have to clean these up as well. Goodness, and it's still a little soft, so we'll press it back down to get it flat. So there's one side. And let's just press him down so he can harden up a little bit more. Goodness, that mold is tight. Alright, so we're going to clean up the mold and we're going to pour. We're going to have to do 2 more. See how that goes. But you can see the red, white, and blue came out pretty. And then there's a little the boat wheel. We'll probably do something with that eventually, but that came out nice and even. You can see there. And then we'll get our triangles out, which is for the top. We're going to have to clean these up as well. And you can see they're stuck together, but we'll fix that with no problem. And we can just separate it for now, twisting it off, and we'll fix it. But what's going to happen is this piece is going to go in like that. This piece is going to go in like that. And you'll see they'll sit together, and then eventually, when we get them trimmed up, that'll go in here, and then it'll be like that. If you can see. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to mix up a little bit more resin. We're going to get our red, white, and blue added in, and then we are going to be back to do a pour. And in the meantime, we will do some cleanup real quick. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back, and one of the things I found through the first pours of these was that my pressure pot was not level. And what happened was, on the second set, you can see that it drifted down to the end, so that the bottom of one piece and the top of another is thicker than the other piece. And you can see it here. You can see how thin that is versus how thick it is. So it just didn't come out even. So what we did was we put these to the side, and we moved the pressure pot to where it was in a level position. And I broke out I have a level, and I used the level to try to determine where that needs to sit so that it would be even. And that is what I believe we have now. So we're going to go ahead and demold this one. And it's been in there for about 24 hours, and it's still going to be a little soft, but we'll flatten it back out. But you can see already that it's level, and it sits in there. So we'll try the other one. Again, we're gonna flatten these out, and we'll throw them in the refrigerator. Let's do the larger one. And you can already see that fits in there perfectly. So here's the lesson of the video, which is always make sure that you're working on a level surface. We also did 2 more of the triangle tops. In red, white, and blue as well. So you can see we're done with that piece, but a much, much better result. And they're going to go like this. When we're done, we're going to put them like that. You see, they look a lot better. So what we are going to do is we are going to do another pour of these 2 halves, and then when we come back, we'll be good to go. So I'm not gonna bore you with the details of doing the same thing that I just did before, but we have gotten the pots level. We'll get the resin mixed, and we'll get it poured in here, and then we will be back for the finished result. So stand by. Be right back. Alright, so our second attempt at the sides is now out of the pressure pot. So let's see how it came out. Flatten that up a little bit. It will have to sit a little bit more outside of this. It's been in there for 24 hours, but you can see it's still relatively soft. But you can see they came out pretty nice and relatively. This one's still a little get thin at the bottom. You can see it's not, tapers down. We'll see if it's going to make a big difference when you put them in here. So let's see. I don't want to have to pour another side, so we'll see if this, how it looks when it's done. So I think what we're going to end up doing is, I think the top, the triangle part here would be good to kind of lock together so that it stays, but we're going to have to flatten this down. But you can see, I'll have to show you, this was the one that was thin. So I may ultimately do one more. But it's going to look like that. I mean, this, once this is locked in, not bad. It looks good. It just needs a little bit of touch up, and that one needs to be done. So we'll get some video of it with the light in it. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, and if you'd like to see more, please hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified when more videos are released. Thanks for watching. See you next time.